sir from City, who has started off an omni-channel behemoth of sorts. So, Satheesh sir, why don't you tell us something about your story, about your VNIT days, and something about Cityonnet, so that we can get started.
Okay, sure. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Okay. Now, I did my mechanical engineering from NIT, and I'm a 1984 pass out. Okay, so most of you would not have been even born by at the time. Okay, so 1984 pass out. Okay, and at that point of time, we were having only landlines at that point of time, and TV was only restricted to some hostels, and yeah, that's it. Okay, most of the homes also did not have TVs at that point of time. Okay, phones, if you had to apply for, you would get a phone after 2 years. So that was the situation when we were there. Okay, so after I passed out, okay, I come from the city of Mysore in Karnataka, the second largest city in Karnataka. What I thought, okay, should I go to States and start working there, or should I start something on my own? Okay, or should I generally get into a company? So I tried. Okay, I was interested in consulting primarily because okay, it gives you a lot of interaction with different sets of people. Okay, so the first thing that I did was I joined a management consulting company. Okay, and did some good projects. Okay, one was turning around a sick company belonging to the Prince of Mysore, and another was reorganizing the entire organizational setup of a company who incidentally happens to be one of my investors even today. Okay. Then I during 87, 88, I immediately got to see the Yellow Pages version of an American company. Indian Yellow Pages companies were not even there. Okay, Bangalore, they just started advertising that they want to come out with Yellow Pages, and Chennai and Bangalore, they started, and I was the third in the country to start the Yellow Pages. And at that point of time, believe me, when I say I did not even have a landline at that point of time. Okay, but I dreamt of connecting the entire city of Mysore to talk to each other. Okay, and I went around and said, okay, let me start with Yellow Pages. The day I started, the next day I got a offer from TCS to come and join them. At that point of time, TCS was primarily a body shopping company. Okay, it used to send management consultants as well as software engineers to the US. Okay, and that was nothing great about that. Okay, and I thought I had already built a lot of connects with Harvard professors, MIT professors, and other University of Southern California guys. Okay, and I was a critic of most of their books, and more okay, and I started pretty much. I did not really have the need to join a company. I could go to the US directly based on the interactions that I had with these professors.
35 has come, 34.
So question to you, sir, how did you get in touch with these professors? And
yeah, okay, yeah, that's something. Okay, during my final year of engineering, instead of studying mechanical engineering, I started studying, going through all the management books. Okay, and more than that, okay, there was a book which came out in '85 called In Search of Excellence, which was a very widely circulated book. And I wrote a thing, he had written something about being close to the customer, and I clearly picked up on a point. No author gives his address or whatever it is in the book. He gives only the publisher's book, publisher's name. So I said, okay, you say so much about being close to the customer, but if a customer really wants to contact you, okay, there's no way in which you can do it. Okay, so that I had to send it through, not just the publisher, I had to send it through the US embassy to that author, and that author got the this thing kick out of it, and he said, okay, this is something that and he started talking about the customer obsession with everybody, and he started naming my name. Okay, and therein from there, all the authors, okay, whether it was the Harvard chairman or anybody else, they used to send their manuscripts even before publishing to me. Okay, and I started.
Sir, I getting some comments from people. Sir, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, it would have cost you a lot of money to send it.
Yeah.
Send something to the US.
Yeah.
Here, people don't even join. Free Zoom calls. We have all these kinds of things, and in those days, you took all the efforts, and that yielded. So absolutely amazing insight, sir. So then, so how did this entire entrepreneurial kida, as we call it, so
Yeah.
was it there with you always, or like you developed it when you came here to VNIT?
No, I did, frankly, I did not know. I don't come from a family of businessmen or entrepreneurs. I come from a family of professionals, primarily into teaching. Okay, then I said, I need to make a difference. Okay, I studied in NIT. Okay, let me make a difference. If it fails, okay, let me get into a job. Okay, TCS or some other company will always be there, or some big management consulting company like McKinsey, I can always join. Okay, so that was my option. So at that point of time, I got to see a copy of Cincinnati Yellow Pages, okay, which my aunt had brought from the US. I don't know why she brought that. I immediately glanced at that, okay, and I said, okay, let me start something like this in Mysore. Okay, we were okay, and how to do it? Nobody knew. Okay, I did not know anything about printing. There was no offset printing. There was no desktop printing. Everything was the earlier. They used to put the nails and then the printing mechanism. Artworks were hand done. Okay,
Wow.
yeah, it was tough. It was very, very tough. Okay, but then I said, okay, data aggregation is something that you need to be a master at. Okay, and my journey at data aggregation started in 1988. Okay, and primarily I brought out the Yellow Pages book, and it was extremely well received in the city of Mysore. Okay, when I launched it, okay, I launched it in an auditorium of about 1,500 people. It was full, jam packed. Okay, so then I knew, okay, I'm not going to quit this. Okay, I'm going to continue it. Okay, I continued that Yellow Pages journey for about 28 years, very successfully, and subsequently, whoever entered Mysore, okay, big corporates like Getty Yellow Pages or Just Dial, everybody had to, I could beat them, even though they had about 30 or 40 people under their wings. I could beat them with about 4 or 5 guys, because I already had the entire network of people, and I believed in delivering quality. So with 4 people, I could get the same kind of revenues that what Get It used to get with 35 people.
Wow.
So that was something I knew. Okay, and subsequently, what happened during, you've heard of the dotcom bust years?
Yes.
Dotcom bust years. Okay, I started in 2000. Okay, I started the first web development company in Mysore. Okay, way back in 99, 98, 99. Okay, and yeah, incidentally, we ran it well. Okay, yeah, but dotcom bust happened, and everything had to whistle down. Okay, so that was what it is. But at the same point of time, all these big companies like big brands like Airtel, then you have ICICI, then you have HDFC Life. All these people wanted to set up their operations in Mysore. Okay. Now, my office became their first port of call because I could easily get them the market access because I had everybody known to me. The entire merchant community was there with me, and I could easily establish connect. During the first month of operation, okay, they all set up their offices in my office. I incubated them. Okay, and during the first month of operations, they had beaten even what they had achieved in Bangalore, a city which is 10 times that of Mysore. Okay, so they were all very happy, and I just did it for the sake of it. Okay, but then they were still evolving at that point of time. I just, but my revenues from Yellow Pages was much higher, so I just ran it for about 3 months and then handled them and then left them. I could have continued, okay, but I did not. Okay, yeah, Yellow Pages continued like that, but then the as I told you, the web development company that I had, it was always there in my mind. Okay, I had started something like e-com school. Okay, during 2000, when hardly people had heard about e-commerce. Right. Okay. So obviously, yeah, I took a hit at the point of time. Yeah, but again, once this Flipkarts and Amazons and everybody started going, okay, I said I need to start something different. Okay, from what Flipkart does and what Amazon does. Okay, because for an entrepreneur, creating another Amazon or creating another Flipkart is not easy. Okay, because it is cost very capital intensive. Very capital intensive. You have to set up warehouses and everything. And then I said, okay, whole of India does not consume only from online. Okay, it consumes from offline stores also.
Right.
So what I did was I called my company, okay, as Cityonnet. What does this, why Cityonnet? It has a very interesting story behind it. 95 to 96% of our consumption, whatever we do, it happens in the same city in which you live. Right? Okay, if you're in Nagpur, you'll purchase it in Nagpur. Okay, you don't come down to Bangalore to purchase. Other than if things are not available, then only you order online and then purchase. Most of the things you go to the store.
The Baba usually, as usual.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Yeah. So you will actually purchase it from the local stores. You will go to the Kirana store, or you will go to the medical store. You will go to the Alan Saleh store, or the bike store, or the Mercedes-Benz store, or there's a huge amount of offline consumption that happens. But what happens here is, in the online media, there's huge amount of brand building, and everybody says, okay, I'm buying it from Flipkart, I'm buying it from Amazon. But the local retailer from whom you purchase on a day-to-day basis, he doesn't get that brand building or doesn't get the visibility of what is there inside his store. Now the big question comes. Almost everything is covered by Google in its search. And if it comes to products, everything is covered by Amazon and Flipkart. Now,
sir, I think there's some issue with the audio. I think you switched your thing, so the quality of audio had gone down a bit. Now it is better.
Now it's better?
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what happens is, you have to come out with a solution which is very, very important, that you do not find in Google, you do not find in Amazon, or even if you find in Amazon, you have to have a direct connect, okay, with the consumer. So I thought about digitizing the consumer decision-taking power. So what do I mean by consumer decision-taking? Now, if it is available in a store next to you and it is visible to you, will you go there and pick it up in the shop, or will you wait for 3 days for Amazon to deliver? So obviously your first choice would be to go to the store to pick it up.
Right.
If you can pick it up in 5 minutes time or 15 minutes time, you will rather do that. Barring, okay, unless the price difference is so high that, you will still wait for, a mega sale or whatever it is. Barring the mega sale period, most of the other times, the price points I observed are almost similar in the offline media, offline stores and the online stores. So only problem is the availability, the visibility. The visibility is not there. So what we did is, I started aggregating almost all the retailer data, granular data of almost all the stores in India. That is number one. Just like Just Dell and Google has the data, that also I did. Okay. Then I came up with, what does Just Dell and Google does not have? Just Dell and Google do not give what is inside a store. So what we did is, we aggregated almost all the branded products across India. Okay, across classifications. It can be apparel, it can be automobile, it can be electronics, everything. So then we started mapping both of them together and started creating a virtual store. Got it? Okay, so if you want to see what is inside a virtual store on, let's say, a grocery store next to you or a Alan Solly store next to you, okay, it can easily be done. Now, if a brand wants to launch a product, let's say Alan Solly comes out with a new set of shirts, or Samsung comes out with a S21 or S22, or Apple comes out with its version of 13. Okay, so what happens is, in the digital media, Apple advertises on Google and Facebook and Times of India and other places, but he does not advertise the store in which he stocks his product, unless you go to the particular website. Okay, now what happens is, a user does not like to browse through hundreds of websites. Now, today my need may be a shirt, tomorrow my need may be grocery, day after tomorrow it may be an automobile, then it may be an educational product or a stationery. Now, what happens is, you need to build a marketplace which can replicate the physical marketplace. So let's say Nagpur. Okay, Nagpur, you need to see, okay, stores which are there in Badi or Dharampet or whatever it is. So you need to know what is available in the store. That is now possible. Incidentally, the same kind of project Google started last year in the US.
So, sir, question to you here is that, now that you've started it, but sir, in the era of e-commerce, everyone is gung-ho about e-commerce.
Yeah.
Why did you think of going for something that is, offline, rather than online?
I'll tell you. Okay. See, when I mention omnichannel, I go to the next step of e-commerce. Okay, e-commerce, allows you to go to the particular website and from a single source, you get it shipped. The costs are extremely prohibitive. Like, for example, Flipkart even today has got about 47,000 crores as accumulated loss. Okay, but they don't bother about the loss. They bother about what is known as a GMV. Okay, gross merchandise value. Gross merchandise value, and they don't bother VCs who fund a company like Flipkart. They will actually look into funding it. Okay, and it is worth about more than $26 billion. Now, what we do is, now Google also recognized, Reliance also recognized that there has to be somewhere wherein the offline stores have to be picked up. Like, for example, now you don't wait in a queue to buy a cinema ticket. You don't wait to do the travel. Everything you book online. Now, retail actually contributes more than 10% of our GDP. Now, if you can pick up, okay, given the proliferation of the smartphones now, and also given the success of UPI, almost all retailers, including a vegetable merchant, accepts a UPI. Correct?
Right.
Now, it is time for us to digitize the entire retail ecosphere. This, okay, the digitally influenced market size is extremely huge. Digitally influenced market size is close to $650 billion according to BCG and McKinsey. That doesn't mean that we are gunning at $650 billion. Okay, we are looking into digitizing the entire retail ecology of the country. Now, what we did, I'll just give you a, okay, as we started aggregating the branded products as well as the dealers that they have and mapping it with the stores, we built the third largest aggregator in terms of stores, next only to Google and Just Dial. And we also built the third largest aggregation of all the branded products. Okay, like next only to Amazon and Flipkart. So we have more number of products than Paytm also, Paytm Mall also.
Wow.
Okay.
So can you give us some sense into how many products, just for the, for the audience to understand the the enormity of the
enormity of it. Okay. Now I have about 2 million storefronts on my platform, each one having a individual store. Each one having an individual store. 2 million each store. Like, for example, if you have 100 stores in Dharampet, you will have 100 stores on my platform, showing that they are in Dharampet. And if each one of them have got more than 500 products, okay, you have 2 million into 500, that many number of products.
Billion products. Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you manage that, sir? I mean, you have a own tech team that really works on this. How did you, we just, as an entrepreneur, you want to really get used to this, scale, word of scale.
Yeah.
So
see,
how do we build that scale, sir?
Basically, this business is all about building scale. Building scale, and once you build scale, okay, it is just, okay, now let's say, Karthik, you have a retail store.
Yeah.
Suppose I come as a marketing executive of Cityonnet and say, Karthik, this is your store. Okay, I showcase your store with all the products that you have. What was your reaction? How did you even get there? And when you see that, you'll say, okay, I don't have this product. Can you knock it off? Or can you add this product? So that is something, okay, we are in a position to do. Okay, we are in a position to, like, for example, if it's a branded product store, let's say a Samsung store. I can create a Samsung store front in 45 minutes flat.
Wow.
Okay. So a Kirana store, we can do it in half a day's time. Maximum. Even if they have more than 5,000 products.
Wow.
Okay, because all the products, we already have it in our repository. All that the store guy needs to do is just put his price. That's it. Finish. His store is ready. Now, Karthik, if let's say I'll explore a possibility. Now, let's say you have about 50 to 60 entrepreneurial cell guys in VNIT. Now, if you want, let's say, if you want all the stores in Nagpur to be digitized, I just take help of these guys, get it to an MOU, and can digitize all the stores within 6 months time. And Nagpur will be, you can see what is available in any store in Nagpur.
Wow. So, sir, I think while I was having a pre-discussion with you, you said that you are also interacting with Google and they have shown interest. So, can you tell us more about how do you as an entrepreneur reach out and get those connects, and what are your insights that you would want to share with our budding entrepreneurs in this?
Okay, fine. Okay. What happens is, now most of these companies, they were strong in e-commerce. Like Google is not into e-commerce, but they have all the wherewithal. Like, for example, it has search, it provides everything. And they are masters in the advertising, digital advertising. Now, when COVID came, I reached out to a couple of guys. Now, retailers require something, to showcase. If they are closing down for 2 months or 3 months, it's a big loss of business for everyone. Now, if I give what is available in that particular store, and he is in a position to, even if he is closed, if he is in a position to get an order and then deliver it to, let's say, a customer who is within 5 kilometers, he will happily do that.
Right.
Why should he even lose business? First, why should he lose business to Flipkart or Amazon? Why should he lose business to when he's closed down? Absolutely, there is no need. And for brands which have the maximum number of sales through retail outlets, there was absolutely no media. Now, today, let's say Alan Sally wants to launch a new product, or let's say Hero Motorcycles want to launch a new vehicle, or Samsung wants to launch its mobile phone. The next day, I can give that phone is available in the store next to you, which is 500 meters away or 300 meters away from your house. There is no need for you to go to some e-commerce site or wait. You can get the visibility of that being available in your in a store which is nearby and at the same price that the manufacturer is asking you to do. Because the visibility is not there, because it is not getting promoted, these retailers are suffering. Now, the opportunity, let us go by the opportunity. If we go by the opportunity, let's take, for example, about 30 guys visiting one store per day, 20 or 30 guys, any store is visited by about 20 or 30 people, right? Now, let's take the example, we take the mobile number of that person who is visiting the store. The store guy picks up the mobile number, of the customer who is visiting the store, and immediately redirect that customer to his virtual store. Got it? So you don't have to necessarily come to Cityonnet at all. The user doesn't even need to know Cityonnet. He just visits the store, he gets a link, directing him to the virtual storefront of that particular store. He clicks that and he gets to see all the products in the store.
So, sir,
Got it?
do you mean that if I want to, let's say, buy a pack of chips,
Okay.
and let's say Lay's onion cream and onion cheese from my next door kirana,
Yeah.
using Cityonnet, I can check if there is enough of those packets or not.
Karthik, you don't even have to do that. Okay, I'm going to the next level now. Okay, I use the platform just to keep all the storefronts there. You can do that, but when you go to a store, let's say you do not know anything about. Let's say you do not know anything about Cityonnet. You are just a visitor to a store.
Right.
Okay, you will see two things. One is he asks you for your mobile number.
Right.
Immediately, your mobile will receive a link. See all the products in my store. You click on that. You are enabled to purchase everything, whether you want Lay's or whether you want butter also to go with it, or also a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Okay, so you can purchase whatever you want, because if he has got that in stock, you will purchase. So,
sorry, sir, your voice again. I think this network.
it's breaking. Okay, now
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just shifted my laptop, so that's it. Okay, now it's good.
Right.
So,
Yes.
so what happens is, what we also do, you've seen the QR code of Phone Pay, you've seen the QR code of Paytm, GPay, everything on the
Right.
stores, right? So
Right.
what we are also going to do is we are going to introduce a new QR code. We say, okay, Karthik, you're smart, your phone is smart, but you are smarter.
Right.
Okay, all that you need to do to see what is inside a store is just scan the QR code. So the first QR code will enable you to see all the products in the store. The second QR code is that of GPay or PhonePe or Paytm, and you make the payment. Got it? So what happens is the retailer gets huge visibility to whatever is available in the store. Now, coming back to that 30 people visiting a store. Okay, 30 people visiting a store per day, or 20 people visiting a store per day, into 2 million stores. Okay, how many?
60 million we get. Yeah.
Okay, 60 million users you are getting in a day.
Right.
Okay, into, let's say, 30 days or 360 days.
Right.
User acquisition happens, like, for example, Flipkart spends 2,900 rupees for acquiring one customer. I don't spend a single rupee. The dealer acquires the customer for me.
Right.
Okay, so 300 million people or 400 million people acquiring them is done by the dealers for me.
Right.
Okay, and what does the dealer get? How does he get increase in his business? Okay, how does he increase his business? Now let's say you visit a store. You get to see all the products in the store. Generally, if, let's say, I give two calculators. First, the dealer sees his own thing. Okay, what his business is, what his convertibility rate is. Like, for example, if it's a gold merchant, his convertibility rate is about 10% or 15%. If it's a kirana store, his convertibility rate is about 70 to 80% or 90%. Because when you go to a kirana store, you generally buy things. But when you go to a jewelry store, you will just probably browse and then come back. Okay, then probably plan and receive. So what happens at the point of time is you need to really look into, how do I increase? Okay, how do I increase the business of that guy? Now I give visibility. Now, when I give visibility, what happens is, let's say you have gone there. Okay, you have gone there to pick up certain laundry list that your wife has given. Okay, but what happens is, when you see certain other things that are there in the store, you will immediately also purchase that. So what happens is, the convertibility goes up. With the convertibility, his uh, total turnover in a day goes up very, very high. Okay.
So I think it's a very interesting business model, sir. I've already started getting questions on your business model. So with your permission, sir, can we open it up for the audiences?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think, sir, I have a question first from Upkar. Upkar, can you please go on, unmute yourself and ask your question?
Hi, sir. My name is Upkar.
Hi.
Thanks a lot for your wonderful insights. Those were quite qualitative and inspiring for someone like me. So I would like to know, sir, like what is your revenue stream? Like, how does Cityonnet gets their revenue out of this whole structure?
We have multiple revenue streams. One of it is dealer subscription. Okay, a dealer pays about 12,000 rupees per annum. That is 1,000 rupees per month. Okay, for getting a total e-commerce site and digitization, promotion, everything. So when you try to replicate the same model, he would have paid lakhs of rupees. Here, since it's a platform, he can immediately get in at around 12,000. Next, okay, is the brands. Whenever a brand has to launch a new product, I say, okay, I can give you visibility across India, across all the stores, so that your products get picked up much faster. Correct? So the revenue streams will again be very, very high. Okay. Now, with any launch of any product, I come up with a new media, and these guys are, these guys can bite the bullet, and I get to earn that money. Next thing is, because we have a connect of more than 2 million stores, there are a lot of companies like insurance companies or loan companies or fintech companies, okay, who want to provide loans to all these merchants. I already have the database of everybody. I also know what is the kind of transactions that happen in these stores. So it becomes like, for example, if Google wants to give loans to anybody, okay, he can look into what kind of transactions that happen offline and what kind of transactions happen online, and immediately sanction a loan, even without looking into anything. Right? So this provides a huge amount of
revenue opportunity.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you, sir. It was great, insightful. Yeah. And the financial institution thing was actually an eye-opener. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah.
We also have a question from Mangesh Bakshi, sir. I think Mangesh sir has asked 2 questions. So over to you, Mangesh sir, if you are there.
Mangesh?
Yeah. Hi, Satheesh.
Hi.
Okay. So as I get, there must be about 10 million stores.
Yeah. 15 million stores to be on record in India.
Okay, because yesterday only I read that there are 7.5 million Kirana stores in India.
Yeah.
So maybe I thought another 2.5 million of other stores.
Yeah.
So that makes it 10 million, but okay, you corrected it to 15 million stores.
Yeah.
Now, who drives the business? I mean, obviously going to individual stores,
yeah.
I mean, is a big task. You'll need a big team.
Yeah.
You will need a very big team located in each at least tier 2 city.
Yeah.
And physically one can cover maybe 10 or 12 stores in a day. So
absolutely correct. Yeah.
And the conversion rate could be something like 20% or 25% or even less. I don't know.
Conversion rate incidentally is much higher. In fact, for any rep visiting about 10 stores, he comes home with about 3 or 4 conversions minimum.
Okay, so you say 35% roughly is your conversion rate.
Yeah.
So that means that you have to deploy a few hundred people, over the country to convert. I mean, make stores convert.
We don't work on that model. See, basically what we do is, okay, Mangesh, you are right in pinpointing a problem. Okay, but we have to find a solution for deployment of manpower. Like for example, okay, we use channel partners. Okay, like for example, in Mumbai, I had a classmate of mine who started a channel partner in Andheri. Okay, so what happens is immediately he will have a team of about 10 people or what it is. Our role is to ensure that the quality of training,
messaging
okay,
basically.
yeah,
what kind of
quality of training and immediate reciprocity of creating the virtual store is very, very strong at our end. Okay, so even if that guy goes and shows, okay, so what we do is we have pre-filled stores for all the branded products in the beginning itself. Okay, like for example, let's say
you have a template. You have a template for all types.
No, not just a template. We have created virtual storefronts for every store. Like for example, every branded store. Like for example, if it's a I would be showroom, or it's a Samsung showroom or a Java showroom, his store is already created. All that he needs to do is, if there are any products which is not there in the storefront that we have created, he just has to remove it and give his selling price. We would have kept the MRP. Okay, so what happens is, when my representative goes there, he delights the user, he delights the customer by showing his own storefront. You got it?
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, were you able to get that?
Last line, because there was a call and which I muted it. That is why I could.
Okay. So what happens is he gets to the dealer gets to see his own virtual storefront even before signing up.
Okay.
Okay. Even before signing up, he gets to see it. So that way, it is very easy to convince a dealer. Like for example, there is no photography upload and everything that is required for a branded store. Everything is already there. His store is already created. He just needs to correct the pricing and his store is ready. Did you get it? So we have to work on scale like this. Okay, if you have to create individual stores, that is going to take a lot of time. If you, okay, like for example, Bangalore, next week I'm starting the marketing activity, but I already have 3 lakh stores in Bangalore which are already there in my platform.
Okay.
Okay, it is just so easy, you know. You go to your store, you show him his own store. He will be dumbfounded. How did you even do it? Okay, he will be wondering. Okay, and then you say, okay, there might be changes in the pricing. You just do it. So
got it.
What we did, Mangesh, is we divided the retail ecology into 4 major aspects. One is the brand and the network of stores. Okay, like for example, Xiaomi has got 3,200 exclusive stores. Xiaomi stores will not sell Samsung or Oppo or anything. He sells only Xiaomi products. Now I get the detail of all the 3,200 stores, then and map it with his products. So when my representative goes to the Xiaomi store, he says, "This is your store. You just have to sign up, and I will give you promotional material for you to push it to all the people who visit you."
So what about multi-brand stores like Vijay?
Yeah. this is step number one. This is for branded and their network. Next comes the MBO, multi-brand outlets. Like, for example, it can be Purvika, Sangeeta, Vijay, or Chroma, or Reliance Digital. All that we need to know is what brands they sell. Okay, and immediately map it to them, and 300 stores or 500 stores or 10,000 stores of Reliance Digital immediately becomes active. All that we need to do is we showcase it to them, and somebody sitting in Bombay needs to enable them, okay, by sending us the check, and 10,000 stores of Reliance Retail immediately becomes active. Right? Okay. The third one is commodity stores. Commodity stores like Kirana stores. Or,
Wholesalers.
no, it can be grocery guys. It can be, I'm not talking about the wholesalers. Okay, wholesalers, I'll come to that later. It can be pharmacy stores. See, all these pharmacies or Kirana stores, they are all commodity products, which is available in every store. He also sells rice. He also sells Lays chips. He also sells all those things which are common in consumption. So what we did was we built the largest number of SKUs which are required for these retail guys. Okay, now if you want to create, let's say, a super departmental store having all these products, okay, I map it with about 5,000 products or 10,000 products immediately. For a small store, generally I map it with about 2,000 products, which are in general consumption in that area. His store is ready. He may add another 20 or 30 products or 50 products at the most, or he may remove 10 or 20 products. His store is ready. Okay, and he's ready to go for business. Next is I want him to collect the footfalls that happen at every store, okay, and so that the retention happens. Retention by that store happens, right? Okay. Now you go to a Kirana store. You don't have to visit Cityonnet. You go to a Kirana store. You scan what is there in the QR code, and immediately we are his store is visible on your phone, right? Okay, so that's something that we can really look into. So that way we are building up that kind of thing. Yeah.
And my last question. I'm sorry, I'm taking your time.
No worries. So we just have like 10 minutes to go. So I'm just asking everyone to send in their questions so that we don't miss out on any. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. We have like 4 or 5 more questions. Please.
So one last question. Like you said, these Flipkarts and Amazons, they measure their metrics or measure their performance metrics in terms of GMVs.
Yeah.
How do you measure? I mean, you also measure in terms of GMV, or you measure?
No, see, basically, as I told you, okay, the number of visitors visiting a store, that itself gives me a huge metric. Okay, and whatever he purchases is also there with me. So if I go by GMV, my GMV will be much higher. Okay, because offline GMVs are extremely high. Only this, yeah.
Your GMV is much higher than Flipkart or Amazon.
No. See, once I go to the market. Okay, once I go to the market, a single city like Bangalore can give a higher GMV than Flipkart or Amazon.
Agreed.
Yeah, because you have, even if you take the 3 lakh stores, you will be actually be, even if the purchases happen in multiple stores and you are getting the data of it, okay, that's a huge data without any cost. Yeah.
Thank you, Mangesh sir. There is a question from, I think there's a question from Rajat, but I'll come to that. Before that, there was a question from Harshdeep. Harshdeep, are you there? You want to ask the question?
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, in the earlier of the session, you told us that you are a group of four, and you were to, means you are similar to competition with a group of 40. So you told us
Pardon,
that
I did not get you. What is this group of four?
So the
sir,
question is like
networking,
you
sir,
mentioned
networking.
earlier that you were able to compete with a worldwide brand like Get It, which had 40 people in their
No, that
team.
was in the yellow page thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So his question is like, how did you find such great people, and how did your networking? When did your networking journey begin? And he wants some insights on. Is that your question, Harshdeep? If I get it right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly,
So
exactly, sir.
what Harsh, what we need to do is when you build a product, you have to have the passion to give a superior consumer experience. Okay. Now, if your consumer is happy with whatever you are giving, he's going to come back to you no matter what. Okay. In the yellow pages business that I was in, okay, I had the highest retention business of 96%. 96% of people who had advertised earlier were willing to pay even more the next year. Okay, when we used to go there for booking. All that we need to do was reach out. You would be very surprised, Harsh. We were sending out inland letters to people to renew, and they used to send checks by post.
That is how compelling the proposition was. Amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So, sir, I think I'll have to hurry a couple of questions and answer. Please, please accept my apologies.
No,
because
no.
we have
Okay. Before
Rajat
that,
has a question.
Karthik, before that,
yeah,
I will open up an opportunity. Okay. I'll just talk about the opportunities that they're there. Okay. Now, this kind of a market can expand across. We are present in 720 cities as of now, and all that we need, like for example, Nagpur. Okay, let's say the entrepreneurial cell takes it up. Okay, now I can immediately enable with the MOU. Okay, all the stores in Nagpur, and entrepreneurial guys can earn also, as well as get a first-hand digitalization experience. I will talk to Shashi about that. Okay, and probably he can direct you there.
Yes. So thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. I'm sure the ESL children would, make the right choice. I would let Shashi sir and alumni Kamlesh also from the alumni association is here. He also has a question, so I think they can make the decision.
Yeah, sure.
But in the interest of time, sir, here I would want to go to Rajat and then Kamlesh, and then I think even Vishal has a question.
Sure.
Rajat first.
So you are, as you said right now, we came to know you are dealing with a lot of data. As said, you have started your journey in data since 1988.
Yeah.
So, sir, how the journey of analyzing this data began? Like, would love to know that.
Yeah, as I told you, okay, I just had about 8,000 rupees in my hand. Okay, but the gut feeling was extremely strong. Okay, I have to do something. Okay, so I started off recruiting people, advertising, and then going to the market, talking to people. And once people started, but building the trust is very, very important. I was a young guy like you guys in about 22 or 23, but then I built the trust, okay, amongst all the merchants, and they started encouraging me. Okay, so building trust with the customer is very, very important. And if he says yes, you are there, then you can achieve anything. Remember, I did not even have a landline at that point of time. It was tough, and DTP desktop printing was not there, and I did not know ABCD of printing also. Okay, printing technology. We did everything, so you have to be ready to do the grind. Even for Cityonnet, I've spent number of sleepless nights, but then now you see, I have the largest I've created the largest digital estate for retailers.
Yes. Sir, we all are proud of you for this, and thank you for sharing your insights, sir. Kamlesh, your question, and I think then we'll
Hi.
go to Vishal. Yeah.
Hi, Karthik, am I audible?
Yes, yes, loud and clear. Go ahead, please. Kamlesh, go ahead, please. Kamlesh, you there?
Can you hear me, Karthik?
Yeah, very
Now
much.
I can hear you. Please go ahead. Go ahead now.
Sir, it was very insightful to listen to your journey of Yellow Pages and now Cityonnet. We can clearly feel the zeal that you have and convincing power that you must be having when you talk to investors and other people, other business people.
Yeah.
I have one small question. See, in today's world, everybody is looking for a differentiator, right?
Right.
So when you go with your product to a retailer, he is looking for a differentiator, and your product provides that very clearly. That okay, anybody around me does not have it, I have it, and this is a good point for me, and let me jump on it and get it.
Right.
But once you have it across, I mean, in the market, for example, in a market lane, if you have 50 stores and everybody has that product, then there is no differentiation.
Okay.
Right?
I'll counter that with a question. Okay. Now let's say you go to a physical marketplace. Okay. Let's say you go to a mall or you go to a high street. Okay. So what happens is, why do you see the same competitors next to each other? Like, for example, if it's a jewelry store, all the jewelry stores will be next to each other. If it's a garment stores, all the garment stores will be next to each other. Why? Because a marketplace attracts more number of visitors. Okay. And the user has the choice to go to the store of his choice. The same thing applies even in the digital world. Right? The choice has to be there in front of the customer. If the visibility is not there, he will miss it. He will not see it, and you will miss the business.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is the rule of economics. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So instead of a standalone store, you also join in a marketplace like in a mall, or mainly because there the mall attracts a more number of people, and you have chances of selling it, like for example a Nike shoe or a Levi's jeans or whatever it is. As soon as he sees the brand, he goes in and buys. Okay, that's it.
All right, great, thank you, sir. Another question, this might be a number question, but how many out of these 15 million stores are there on your platform as of now, and what are
2
your
million
plans
stores
for...
are there. It needs to be activated. Okay, it needs to be activated, and that's where the biggest business opportunity comes. Like for example, if somebody wants to become a channel partner in a city with about 15 to 20 marketing executives, all that they need to do is go to the store, showcase his store, and then get the KYC done, and his store is up and running. Then you actually give him the promotional materials for him to actually sell his wares. So this is a very big opportunity for entrepreneurs to jump in now and become channel partners of ours.
Okay, but how many out of 2 million are actually activated?
Yeah, we activated about 2,000 stores in Mysore city, but Bangalore, we are looking into activating about 15,000 stores in the next 1 month.
15,000. And then around a year or so from now, how many you see that number will reach out to?
At least 5 lakh stores.
5 lakhs. Oh, great. Good, sir. Congratulations and best of luck to reach that number.
Yeah.
Right. We'd like to see you grow. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
All our best. I think I have a last question from, I think, Harsh. Do you have a question, Harsh? Because I see something.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Harsh, please go ahead.
Hi, Harsh.
Yeah, hello, Satheesh, sir. So actually, I was going to ask the same question which you just proposed a few minutes back.
Okay.
So actually, I live in Nagpur, and I was just thinking to ask you for an opportunity, as you just told that entrepreneur skills should be polished by doing something practical. And so I was just asking if something is available for such entrepreneurs like us who are just in their beginning stages. So
Yeah.
we would be delightful to join you in any possible ways if needed.
Yeah, see, basically look into building a small team, okay, and have about, okay, if the entrepreneurial cell doesn't take it up, you can take it up, or you can join them and start.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Okay, you can join them and start it off. Okay, and I can send the commercials and everything that can actually be there for a long time. Okay, so what happens is, in a ECL, okay, as soon as you pass out or whatever it is, you may think of either staying in the business or may not be. Okay, so but the new guys will also start doing it. But that's a strong entrepreneurial experience that you guys will have. And anybody who wants to get into the digitization world or want to get into coming up with a startup on how to build a business and how to scale a business, I think this is a huge opportunity that you can take up.
Yes, sir.
Sure. So I think, sir, when we started off this entire VNIT startup talk series, all we wanted to do was to network and connect our VNITians. And I'm so glad that just as part of this interview itself, we have some connections happening. So I'm really glad, and I'm really thankful for everyone who have taken out their time on this Saturday morning to have spent this time. Satheesh, sir, I'm really grateful to you for sharing your insights. Your story has already inspired a lot of us, and it will inspire us to do work better and do a much better job than what we are doing right now. So with that, I want to thank everyone, and I'll see you sometime next month with a new guest. Till then, this is Karthik, and we'll be in touch on VNIT Startup Talks too. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Satheesh, sir.
Okay, bye.
You.
So we are